Hello guys, yes, we're finally back. That random tech guy, I am back with a new tech video today. And you might notice, yes, it has been some months, but also I've upgraded my equipment a bit in the last months. I mean, a bit is actually the understatement of the year. Upgraded to new camera and also a new mic. I have the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K now. I'll actually tell you guys in a separate video what the main reason was for buying such a good camera. So what is the first thing that we will be doing in this amazing quality? Well, we'll be upgrading an iPhone battery. We're actually replacing it. Now, you might look at this phone and you'll be like, this looks a bit off or weird. Yeah, because this is an iPhone 6S of my father. And you might see it has a white display but a black home button, and you might be thinking, why that? Has somebody tinkered around already on this phone? Yes, I did. This phone already had one part replaced. Can you guess which? Well, it is the display. The display, I'm not sure what happened. I think the display glass broke, and that is why I replaced the display. And this originally was a space gray iPhone 6S. Now you might say, why did I get the white display? Actually, I just had made a mistake and ordered the white one. But my father looked at the display and he's like, oh, I kind of like this panda look that the phone then gets. And then that's why I decided to build it in nonetheless. So yeah, that's why we have a black home button and a white display. And today we're gonna give this iPhone again new life with a new powerful battery. Because you know, the battery life with smartphones after a few years is quite bad. And I think that I had this phone since 2014, so it's been in use since 7 years almost. So it makes sense that the battery life isn't that good anymore. Phone batteries aren't built for 7 years of usage anymore, sadly, because the companies expect you to upgrade every 2 years at least. But we aren't gonna do that, because I told you guys the mantra here on my channel. I am for longevity of devices. I do not want people, or I want to change people's minds that you have to throw a phone away as soon as there is a crack or anything, because so many people these days believe, especially with iPhones, that they can't be repaired. And you'll see in this video, if you haven't seen one of my videos yet, it isn't that hard actually. So yeah guys, come around and let's replace the battery in the iPhone 6S. So what do we need? Well, obviously we need a battery. This is a standard third-party battery. Of course, if you want to, you can also, good that I didn't bring a knife with me, you know, even though I have now this professional camera and this professional setup, you should see it. I never thought in my life I'd have such a professional setup. You know, this camera is filming right here in this awesome quality. And then I have a mic, and even, you can't see it, but up there is a display where I can see everything that the camera is filming. So this is a hella professional setup. But even though I have all of that, I'm still me. I forget stuff for the video. But yeah, I mean, that's this channel. I mean, if you're following for some time, you know that's how I am. Okay, so now I'm gonna open it up, and yeah, it's a third-party battery, standard third-party battery. Oh, nice! It comes actually with glue strips for the iPhone. But if you want to and you want to spend a bit more money, you can also buy the original battery. But I bought a third-party battery. Normally, those are not that bad. I never had bad experiences with it actually. So yeah. What do we get? As you can see, we get the standard screwdriver kit that we would need for this upgrade, SIM card ejection tool, all the different tools that we need, quite standard stuff. If you've ever upgraded anything on an iPhone, that's almost all the time the things that you get. What you don't always get, and which I tell you to actually look for, is the glue strips for the iPhone. Always check if they are included, because you know, when you're opening it up and you want to close it up again, especially with newer iPhones, if you don't have the glue strips, then like any water protection is gone. Then you have to be really careful when any liquid comes close to your iPhone. So if you can get it, just for completion's sake and to make it as perfect as possible, try to get this as well. Of course, we get the battery, and I'll be interested because this is one of these third-party batteries that is saying it has 38.19% more battery life than the original battery. And I heard that that actually works. So we're not only going to give this iPhone its original battery life back, we're even going to increase it. Good, so first step, get the if you don't notice, if you've seen some of my videos, this always happens to me. Well, I think I haven't filmed that, but I always forget to get the SIM card out, and I'm just happy right now. This is actually the first time that I haven't forgot to put the SIM card out. So yeah, so what you do is you take your SIM card ejection tool. Now, if you haven't got this with your third-party battery, just take the one from your iPhone that comes with your iPhone. Then you just, I think I don't have to show you this. If you have an iPhone, you know how this works. You just get the SIM card. Oops, you get the SIM card out with the SIM card tray, and just put it to the side for now. Okay. Good, so once that is done, we can start really working on the iPhone now. So, the first thing we need to do is get these screws out. Let me focus on that. You need to get the two pentalobe screws out that Apple loves to put in their products. So we're going to take our pentalobe screwdriver. And I'm trying, wait, let me focus in so you can see better. And we are going to get the pentalobe screws out. Essentially, it's two screws. And you just, you screw them out. Wait. There we go. Screw number one. Now you can see how tiny they are. Just, if you can, put them somewhere where you can't lose it. What I'm going to do is I'll use the cardboard tray that came with my battery and put them in there. So, in any event of me dropping anything, I don't immediately lose the screws. Because trust me, if one of these screws falls down, you're effed. Okay, so let's do the other screw. There we go. And it's out. Alright, so those are the two pentalobe screws. So what we now do is we pull the display up. Now how do you do this? Well, this is the only step in this whole replacement process that is mildly dangerous. I wouldn't even say dangerous, you just need to be patient. Now here's the thing, I have a replaced display in here. So for me it will be pretty easy because I already once put the display out. And replaced displays are always easier to get out again than original ones, because the original ones are really glued in, of course, and especially with the newer models. And that is why you need to be patient. But to ease your work, you'll take a hairdryer and you just go around the edges and you heat up the phone for, I would say, 1 minute. I think 1 minute is enough. Just touch the phone, sometimes look how hot it is. And after you heated the display up, you can try what I'll be doing now. So you take this thing, the suction cap, there we go, that's the English word, and you place it kinda over the home button, somewhere here, not on the home button, okay? Important. And we don't want to break it. And what you do is you slightly push up, and I think you can see it even here with the display. A kind of gap is forming here. And you try to take your spudger and slowly but surely try to get in. But damn, this is holding it way better than I thought. Damn. And while you're pulling up the display, you try to get the spudger like I did. You try to get it between the frame of the display and the phone. And once you did that, what you do is you go around the edge, stressing very gently, as you can see here. And sometimes it might happen that your spudger slips out again. All you do is pull up again and get the spudger in the phone again. And then just gently go around the phone. Again, be patient and do not ram the spudger into your phone. Be gentle with it, just get it in a few, just a bit, just so that it works. And then gently go around the frame of the phone. And you will notice, the more you do it, the more easier the display will lift. And you just do this a couple of times until the display fully loosens up and you can open it up. And what is also important, be careful in this area here, because this is where the connections for the display are, and you don't want to break those cables that are right here. So here you can go in and around, but here be careful that you don't go too much in with your spudger and carefully go around this area. This area doesn't matter that much, this one here not, and this one, but this here, up here is where the cables are, so be careful about that. I think I should be able to get it out any moment. Let me try gently. You can try that too. You can try to, yeah. You can try to gently pull. If there's any resistance, like a lot of resistance, just wait again and go around the edges again. But you can try to gently pull on it to see if it is loosened up already. And as you can see, here with me, it is already loosened up. Now, sometimes the display up here isn't fully loose yet. So what you can do is you can kind of wiggle it downwards. See, like I just did, and then normally, yep, the display should be able to lift. Now, with every iPhone, it's a bit different in the way the display moves. Like from iPhone 7 upwards, it lifts like this from left to right. But with the other ones, it lifts like this. And as you can see, here are the cables that I was talking about. Now I'm seeing that we don't have a lot of lighting. So let me make this a bit brighter for you so you can, so you can see this a bit better. The power of having an awesome camera. Okay, now you need something to hold your phone display up. If you do this alone, it doesn't need to be anything big or anything fancy, just something that holds the display up to make it easier for you. Now normally all tutorials tell you, you know, take the display off and then work on the battery, because, you know, just in case if you like in some way you drop the display, it kind of moves back and overextends the cable and it breaks. You could do that. It's not that hard, you know. You need to get this plate off and just disconnect the cables. It's not hard. But for me, I think if you are careful and you don't knock the display over, you don't need to do this. It's an unnecessary step in my opinion. That is why we will just work on this, because as you can see here, I'll just gently move the iPhone back. Here is our battery that we want to replace. So what do we need to do? Well, first of all, we need, let me see which screws these are. We need to take a Phillips screwdriver, and just a standard Phillips screwdriver. And we're gonna unscrew this screw right here. Let me zoom in for you and move it up a bit. We're gonna unscrew this screw right here and this one to get this little piece of metal loose. So we're gonna do that. And we try to do it with one hand so you can see it better. Again, put the screws to the side. You don't have to organize the screws this time, because, you know, those are actually the only screws that we have to screw out. And that's it then. No more screws to screw out. And I think you can manage to know which two screws go in here and which go down there. So I think you don't have to organize them. So once you did that, the bracket should normally just move up. Let me, maybe, yeah. It just gets loose. Maybe just pry on this edge. And you take it off, you try to get it out of the phone, there we go, and just put it to the side. Now we can see a few connectors, and the one that is important to us is this guy over here. That's the connector for the battery. So we are of course gonna unplug it. Now let me see where I can get under it the best. Yeah, okay. So if you pry here, just get it loose. Do not push on it, because that's the way, otherwise I think you will overextend the cable. You don't need to do this. And once you did that, perfect, the batteries are unplugged and there's no power going through the device anymore. Now, this is the last step and the most annoying one. Apple loves to glue in their batteries. And they have these awesome pull tabs down there. And if you know me, and if you have seen some videos maybe of Manfred and I doing this, the pull tabs are annoying, because I don't know why, the whole iPhone layout is also perfect. It's a very nicely, neatly and high quality designed. And the pull tabs, they are so brittle and they can break so easily, and ugh. So we'll try anyway. So it's really important that you are gentle and patient with these pull tabs, and try to be as slow as possible. I'll try to do it. I managed it once already to get the pull tabs out in one go without them ripping. But don't worry, if it really happens that they rip, you still can get the battery out. Don't worry, you can do it. So let's try to get them out in one piece. So what you do is these pull tabs that I'm talking about are down here. You might see these little two black like squares on the battery. Those are the pull tabs. There are two, and it doesn't matter which one you start on. So you just kind of gently try to get the pull tab off of the battery. I'll try to do this now. Try to be gentle with the pull tab. There we go. Okay. So I just loosened it up so that you can pull on it. Yes, you need to pull on it. That's why it's a pull tab. So what you do is, try to find a way to show you, but it's really important that I see what is happening. What you do essentially is you take this pull tab and you slowly pull on it. And you'll see, and you also hear it, that the pull tab under here normally, as you pull, it kind of pulls the glue strip that's under there out. You'll see that it gets longer and longer and longer. And what you do is you slowly lift up. As you pull out, you look at the pull tab and you look if it's in a good condition or if there are like some holes in it, and always try to grab onto the most solid and most stable thing, part of it, so that you can try to stop it from breaking as good as you can. So I talk to you how it works. It's not hard, actually. It's not complex. You just need to be very careful. And I don't know why these pull tabs are so bad quality and are so easy to break. Why, Apple? You're such a high quality product than this. But yeah, it's always a bit nerve-wracking, but we're gonna do it anyway. I hope you can see it. But yeah, without further ado, here we go. Well, that was already nice. I could hear it break. So what you do is you gently. Okay, let me try to pull it. There you go. So you see, and what you do is once it's out a bit, you can take your finger and try to hold onto more of it too. Can you hear that? That's the pull tab slowly going out. And that's it ripping. It's not yet over. We have still another one. God damn it, these pull tabs. Again, most of the time it's not your fault if they break. It's just it's just Apple and their ingenuity of pull tab design. Maybe what you could do is try to pull away from the battery, not up but away. I always try to do it inch by inch. Okay, this one is going way better. I think you can hear it. You can hear the pull tab going out. Now as you can see, I'm no, please stay. It ripped in the middle. That's why I'm kind of freaking out. Yes, we could save it. We saved it. My God. This is pull tabs. And just, they are very long. Continue pulling on it. Be gentle. Oh my God. I know you can't see anything, but I'll try to show you. This is what is happening right now. So I'm slightly pulling away from the battery, and I'm always then grabbing it with, my display almost fell down. I'm always trying to grab it then with the other hand, then pull it away again a bit, then take the other hand again, pull it away a bit, so that I always stabilize the glue strip a bit so that I can stop it from like ripping. But this is going very well. That one pull tab is cooperating, which is good. Like if you're able to get one of them out, then the worst hassle is done already, and the battery at least lifts on that one side. Yeah, this is looking, as you can see, we've got most of it out already. This is good. And you don't, as you can see, you don't believe how long this pull tab is. Be patient, just pull as often as you need to. And be patient. It's incredible how long this pull tab is. Holy shit, it's still going. Be patient with it. But you can see what I'm doing, right? I'm taking it, I'm extending it out, and doing this over and over again. Perfect. So this pull tab went out. I know. Can you see it? Oh my god. I tried to get the battery out as careful as I can with a knife, but oh my god. Look what I caught with the knife! Ah! It's the pull tab! Please, please do not rip on me. Please just work with me. We all can stop suffering if we work with me. I think it's working with me. Guys, can you hear this? I'm losing all my professionality. Yes. I love that sound. Oh my god, I didn't think I would be able to do this again. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. Yes. Come to me. Oh, yes, it worked. Ah. We did it, guys. Oh my god, yes. And if you did it, the battery just comes out. So finally, what we can now do is, first of all, take the glue strip and... No, just kidding. Okay. You take your third-party battery and all you do, if you have, actually, if there are glue strips included with your third-party battery, then you can put them in here and then put the battery on there to even more securely put them in. But if you don't have them, don't worry. Essentially, the phone screen is pushing down on the battery and there's also like a cutout section. There is no way for the battery to move, so even if there are no glue strips, it shouldn't matter. So what you do is you take the battery, you just put it in. That's all. You just, there you go. It's in, perfectly fits. And you take the connector and you try to wiggle it so that it fits, and you just connect it to the port. I think it's in. I think I heard it make the sound. And once you heard that sound, actually, before you put everything back together, now what you do is you just take the display, flip it back over, and you test if the battery works by just turning on the phone. Yo, it works. And you also know you didn't damage anything while you were working inside the phone. So yeah, I'll just wait for it to boot and then turn it off again. But essentially this tells us we did it, it all works, the battery works, and we can put it back together. I always tell you guys, test if everything works before you actually put everything back together, because it can happen to the best of us that one cable isn't fully plugged in, and then you need to unscrew everything again, gently pry the display out, and then you just have this unnecessary stress that you can avoid by just testing it first. So as we can see, everything works. I'll just look quickly. Yeah, the display works as well. Perfect, good. So what we do, since we only replaced the battery, we don't have to test anything else. We shouldn't have damaged anything. So we again turn off the display, turn off the phone, of course, the display and the phone, of course, and then just push it up again. And normally by the time you did this, the phone should be turned off already. And now we just go reverse. So essentially, as you just saw, the only hard thing about this are the pull tabs. The pull tabs can be annoying. And I think it was actually my fault. I'll be honest, this time I think it was my fault. As much as I hate the pull tabs, I think it was my fault, because on the first one I wasn't gentle enough. Because I'm stressing gentle because you really have to be gentle with them. And trust me, as you saw, it avoids so much stress and almost losing sanity if you can get them out on the first go. Remember, the screws that you're putting in right now are the Phillips screws, not the pentalobe. Remember, like, the pentalobe screws are the two screws that you unscrew on the bottom of the phone, like the almost very first step after removing the SIM card tray. That's always the pentalobe screws down there. Okay, so the plate is back in, and since we only replaced the battery, what we can do now, since we know the phone works, is just putting the display back in. Now, what we do for that is you do not just press the display in. First of all, I'll take off the suction cap that's still on here. What you do is you actually take the display and you try to hook, as you can see, the display. I'll try to show it to you. Yeah, there you go. The display has these hooks here. And if you take these hooks, they kind of hook under here in the frame. And you take these hooks on the front. Try to make it sharp for you. And you push those hooks gently. Try to wiggle it under Yeah, there you go, under the frame. And you do this first on the top, and then normally everything should fall into place. And then if you feel a lot of resistance, don't just ram it in. You could break something. But normally, if everything is well aligned, I mean, you can kind of tell if you look at the frame, then you can normally just, you can hear it and press down, and it should all snap into place perfectly. Okay, I think, just check on every side. Yep, everything is perfect in place. And now we need our two pentalobes. And now we do the last step, almost the last. Well, if you count putting the SIM tray in again as a step, then that's the second last step. Now we're gonna put the two pentalobe screws in again. It doesn't matter, by the way, which one you put on which side. They're both the same. Because sometimes, especially when you replace the display, there are, like on the same piece, there are screws that with a different size. So you need to be careful with that. But in terms of the pentalobe, it doesn't matter. Come on, there we go. And just screw it in. As soon as you feel resistance, stop screwing it in. Don't screw it in like fully till it almost breaks. You know, if you need to, like I did, if you just need to open up the phone again to replace maybe another piece, and you fully screw in until it almost strips, have fun getting it out again. So as soon as you feel resistance, stop screwing it in. Okay, good. So the phone is back together. Now all it needs is the SIM tray. And yeah, what is my resume as I'm finishing with the last step? Well, as you saw, this was one of the more nerve-wracking battery replacement procedures. But yeah, like the only thing, as you saw, I think what you can say, as the phone is booting up, what you can say is that the only thing that you might consider difficult or scary a bit is the pull tabs. That's literally the only thing, because you just, as you see, these pull tabs, they are very, I'll just try to show you, they are very brittle and they can break so easily, even though they might look like they can take a bit. But as you can see, if we just look at this one pull tab that I pulled out, you see that it started to rip already here, but I thankfully was able to save it. So this is like the only part that you really need to be careful about, that you do not break it, and just be patient with it, as you saw in this video. But apart from that, I think it is such a straightforward process, and it goes such a long way, because then you can give your iPhone its full battery life back. As you see, it all works perfectly. Whoops. Yeah, well, if you put in the right password. And there you go. And you have a fully working iPhone. So yeah, guys. So what is my resume now that we have a fully working functional iPhone with its full original and supposedly even better battery life again? Is it worth it to replace the battery inside your iPhone, or is it really difficult? Well, I understand if you saw the part of me getting the pull tabs out and almost losing sanity. I understand if you saw the battery and you saw how I slightly bent it and you got scared and you might be discouraged of doing it. But trust me, guys, the only difficult part, it's not that it's difficult, the only part where you just need to be very patient and gently are these pull tabs. Once you got the pull tabs out, it's so easy. The rest of it, the beginning, before the pull tabs, and after that, it's literally, it's easy. It should take you, if everything goes well, it's not even half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. If you're careful, and if it's like your first time, maybe longer. But as long as you're patient and careful, you can do it, and it goes such a long way, because then you have a fully working iPhone with good battery life again, and then you don't need to throw it away. Why throw it away? This is such a good, well-working iPhone again. The iPhone 6s, even though it's now an older phone, still is a great phone, and probably for many people still more than they need, and still has a great camera. So yeah, why throw it away if that's all you need to do? So my resume, yes, the pull tabs can be annoying. Most likely can be annoying. But once you did it, it's just awesome. And it really is worth it. And even though Apple wants to tell you, no, you shouldn't do it, bring it to the Apple Store, and then we charge you crazy $100 for it, you should do it on your own. Because you know how much I paid for this repair. How much would you guess did the battery cost me? 18 bucks. 18 bucks, that's literally it. 18 bucks to give you a fully new and probably even better battery life than originally when you bought it. I mean, if you tell me that's not worth it, I don't know. And it's really work-wise also not a hassle. So yeah guys, that is this video replacing the iPhone 6 battery. Thank you for sticking with me on this sometimes a roller coaster of a journey. And yeah guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one.